I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test, part 300, Developed Administrations. This is on this page 115. 115 and following. While doing risk training, and if you participate in risk training, that is your own risk. Since 1997. Some powers have been developed from the central government to give people in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland more control over matters that directly affect them. So since 1997, more and more power has come to the governments of Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland because they are maybe better to know about their own affairs instead of that some of them knows what's going on in the car. That's the idea. There has been a Welsh Assembly, now called the Senate, with double D, and a Scottish Parliament since 1999. So in Wales, there's the Welsh Assembly called the Senate or Senate, and there's also the Scottish Parliament since 1999. And there's also a Northern Ireland Assembly, although this has been suspended on a few occasions. Is it or is it not? There is. So there has been a Welsh Assembly and a Scottish Parliament. No, are they both no longer? There's the Senate of Wales, the Welsh Assembly and the Scottish Parliament since 1999. And there's the Northern Ireland Assembly, that is, but it has been suspended a couple of times. Policy and laws governing defence, foreign affairs, social security and most taxation all remain under central UK government control. So, policy and laws governing defence, so the defence of the United Kingdom, with the airplanes and the ships and the navy and so on, that is governed by the United Kingdom. And also foreign affairs, maybe how trading is done with another country, and social security, that means NHS, and providing a minimum of whatever, of cradle to the grave, a system of benefits, providing a minimum amount of support or something was it, and taxation, and most of taxations. So how much the people have to pay for what tax, and all remain under they remain under UK control. So the foreign affairs and the military and the social security and the taxes, that is controlled by the United Kingdom. However, many other public services, such as education, are controlled by the developed administrations. So the education, for example, is controlled in Wales by the Senate, or both will be, or in Scotland by the Scottish Assembly, or Scottish Parliament, and in Northern Ireland through the Northern Ireland Assembly. So education, for example, is governed more or less in whatever it's called, country, region, area. I'm not sure if they're consistent with the term, which way of use. Well, the developed administrations each have their own civil servants. Where does the sentence come on? That's for the end of the sentence. The developed administrations each have their own civil servants. So, these developed administrations, so the Senate or the Scottish Parliament or the Northern Ireland Assembly, they have their own civil servants. We just don't know what civil servants are, but they have their own. I think this is police or something like that. So they have their own police force. Developed administrations of the UK, we're having four here. The Senate, the Scottish Parliament, the Northern Ireland Parliament and the Northern Ireland Assembly. Then we're having here something written to the Welsh government. I just want to get what we are reading here. The Welsh government, how it is structured. And then some pictures, two of them. Then we're having the Scottish Parliament, no picture, and then the Northern Ireland Assembly, and there again a picture. So we're going to need multiple parts for it. We're having developed administrations of the UK. Is the Parliament there in London also a developed administration? The Senate. It is formed in 1999 in Cardiff, and that is in the capital of Wales. It has 60 SMs, so Senate members or something like that. And I said it before, Scottish, so it seems to be Senate members. And it has every 4 years elections, but that is oversimplified. And powers since 2011 can make law without UK Parliament in 21 areas, including education and training. What is training? Maybe we mean training here, it's trained to be a nurse. I just don't really get what the term for training. Training. Let's just get first familiar with the term and then look if it makes sense. Education and training, health and social services, economic development and housing. So since 2011, there in Wales, there are 60 SMs in the Senate, and they are elected every 4 years. And since 2011, they in 21 areas. In 21 areas they can rule. Not in 21 different areas where we have something to say. So what I mean is, are these 21 areas education, training, health, so 21 of them? Or in 21 areas geographically, we have a say? In some areas, which are then education, for example. I think they can make in 21 areas, so geographical areas. And where we can do things, for example, things to education or training, health and social services, economic development or housing. So we can say how the school should run, or the training, so what the nurses should learn. And we can do health and social services. We can look who becomes a doctor or something like that. And economic development, they can look where fabric is built. And housing, they look that everyone has a house. So that was the Senate. We're going to do, yes, we could actually make them all in one part. All individually in one part. I don't know. We're not going to do anything new anymore. We're doing now just this training. And if you're here just for Scottish Parliament or something like that, you can just go to the next one. Otherwise, not this training. Participation is at your own risk. Maybe the arms next to us, hands from the fists, and we're bringing them down. And up. And we've done the 3 routes, all these exercises. First one is stopping immediately as soon as we feel pain. The second one is that we are going only as far as we can go off a little bit further. And the third one is that we're not overdoing it. We're doing less than we're capable of doing. So last time, and then that was the spotlight. And now to the flashlight. Hands next to us, and we're bringing them to the inside and to the outside. And we're having quite a lot of exercises, so keep the first and the third rule in mind. But as soon as the pain, stop immediately and don't overdo it. Also in total, not over all the exercises. If you are too much, you can take a break. But we're a bit built on in our bit you get warm to do the exercise. So these first ones you should do the best if you really want to do the other ones. And now, yes, hands out with the materials in the morning and your hands down and up. And last time up, down, ahead, and here. Now the T-Rex in the gym. If you don't have a tennis ball, you can also use something else. We are taking it into the hand and we're pressing with moderate pressure onto the tennis ball, or you just make a strong fist if you don't have tennis balls. We're releasing and we are pressing again. We're releasing and we're pressing again. And another time, over the other hand, we're pressing again. We're releasing. And now for last time, pressing and releasing. Now to the cautious big bend. Placing the fingertips on top of the fingernails of the other hand, we're pressing a bit And now we're opening. And we're closing. Then opening again. And closing. And we're changing the other hand on top, a bit pressing, opening, and closing. Last time. Ja, det var. Nou, the few days nu sit fiesta, ikke? Hands in front of it, and now we're opening and we're closing again. With one, opening and closing. And the last time. And it's in again. So the next exercise for frog testing water temperature. If it's too much of the exercise, we have quite some more. Skip this one, which is the most extreme. We are having the hands and we bring them down to the flat fingers and up with strong fists. Down the flat fingers and up with strong fists. Down the flat fingers, up with strong fists. Down the flat fingers, last time. Up with strong fists. And now, flat hands next to us, and we're bending, we make it first claws. Flat hands next to us, and we're making claws. And again. So we're making claws, holding it for 2 seconds, and opening again. Making claws, holding it a little, and we're opening again. And last time. And opening. Now the next exercise is flat hands, and now we're bending them to the knuckles. Opening again. And the last time. And now we don't have that many entry exercises, 3-4. Let's do it with break now if you want to do one. We're bringing the arms in with strong fists and the hands flexion. So and out, extend the hands and flat fingers. And in, strong fists and flexion. And out, extended hands and flat fingers. Again, in, strong fists and flexion. And out, flat fingers extended. Again in, strong fists and flexion. Last time out, extended flat. That is it. And the next exercise, bend one hand again at the knuckles, and now press on top of them with moderate careful force. The other hand, bend into knuckles, and press with moderate careful. I don't gonna ask for the telephone number of the House of Parliament or was exercise. It seems a bit ridiculous, but it's written there. Why shouldn't that be asked? The last exercise, the unfolding rocket boosters. Long arms, strong fists, and maybe strong fists to the inside and flexion. To the outside with extension and flat fingers. To the inside and flexion. To the outside, flat fingers. Again to the inside, strong fist. To the outside, flexion and extension. And the last time, inside and flexion. To the outside, extension and flat fingers. Let's end again here. There we go with more pressure over the middle part of the lower arm. And last time, it's no. That is it. Thank you very much, and until next time.